I was married off at 21, before I knew what I really wanted or who I was. My other two sisters had also been married off at the same age. Less than 3 months of marriage, and I was back at my parents', seeking shelter from a sexually and physically abusive husband. It was a living nightmare. My parents informed me that since my elder sister was back already, running away from her husband, that they couldn't shelter the both of us. I was sent back to my personal hell, where for the next 30 years, I bore every sort of physical and mental aberration known to man. I bore it through the birth of 2 children and a blazing media career. I gloried in my public persona by day and then came home to be dragged around by my hair at night. Why did I stay? Why did I keep quiet? Why did I tolerate with a smile this evil man? When in my other life I was meeting the presidents of countries and film stars. There are many answers. Parents, family, social conditioning. I didn't want to rock the boat. Because you see, on the outside, in my other life, I had it all.
Outside, the pandemic rages on. But inside, it's cozy. I almost don't want to give in to those voices raging in my head. All the stories of those women who share my Indianness and yet seem so alien to me. A lot of violence in India is not even considered violence. And so women and girls learn to accept it as part of their everyday lives.
I was human trafficked when I was 17. My parents were products of their upbringing, strict, conventional, very middle class, and ever ready with the belt. We were never given options as to what we wanted to be, study, or even dream about. So when I stuck up friendships with older women outside my college who hung about in cafes, ostensibly working, it felt so easy. Carefree lunches and shopping trips. Until my older friend gave me an itemized bill for everything she had spent and demanded immediate payment. She insisted I meet her with some money the next day. She was there at the appointed place with a man. He very casually held a knife against my side and bundled me into an auto. I found myself heading to Goa on a bus, repeatedly being cut to remind me to stay quiet. A few hours later, my attacker got out of the bus to use the restroom. In short whispers, I managed to tell my story to a couple sitting across the aisle. At the next stop, I jumped off the bus while the couple engaged my kidnappers in a heated argument. I ran and ran till I had no idea where I was. It looked like a beachfront with many hotels lining the area. I ran from one to the next, begging for help, begging for a phone, begging for the police. I was kicked out of every single one till I found my savior. I never got therapy. The matter was never discussed. I am now struggling through a marriage to a perfectly nice man who will never understand why I behave so damaged or unreachable. This is my life.
It's hard to ask for help or even think of asking for it. When it's physical violence, one is taught by our female relatives to cover it up. Who can even speak of sexual violence when even sex is a taboo topic in this society? Or recognize emotional abuse when it's so subtle that it's almost too late when you recognize the abuse for what it is. And now, a shadow pandemic hangs over us. A pandemic almost worse than the one that rages outside. The abuser and the abusee locked in a dance of death. Women, children, the specially abled and even the elderly are not spared. Can we let in the light? We, the listeners of stories, the empathizers and the sympathizers. Can we do more? Because what I've learned is all it takes is one pair of hands to extinguish a circle.